I'm Nikki Rich of the Nikki Rich Show. So honored to be here and talk with you. Finding her beat. I'm gonna tell you, when I saw it, it's so powerful to me. So powerful, educational, inspiring, and also, it's for everybody. When I saw it, I was just like so amazed. I learned so much about Tycho and just people experiences, the artist experiences, and just their journey. I'm so honored to talk with you about it today.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having
So
us.
happy to be here.
Yes, yes. What I want to know, how important was it to be a part of this amazing documentary showcasing and highlighting the love for art, family, diversity, and representation?
Wow. Who wants to go first on that one?
I think that's Megan.
Oh, yes, I'm Megan Chow Smith. I'm in the film with my wife and child, and also associate producer. Um, I, I was looking at photos because I'm putting together. We're also doing production, Tycho Arts Midwest and Emergence Pictures. We do our own production for the film, and I was looking at just the last 2 years, and I honestly had a little stomach ache just at the amount of work and creativity that this team on this call today. We're missing Jen Weir, who's also the producer, and my wife. But this project, my goodness, I was a homeless teen, queer teen, and I spent most of my life feeling like everything I did was a failure, and just like scrambling and scrambling to have a life that seemed valuable. And then I even thought, like, I went to Japan and I lived there for 12 years and became a professional taiko player, but still apparently that wasn't good enough for me. But then this film and the project that we did just has kind of brought us into this new world I feel like we are in since COVID, of like seeing the stories of real people around the world and not just a kind of cardboard narrative that we were seeing before. And really, it feels kind of spiritual to me, as well as like
Yeah.
amazing artistic work. But like being able to represent for queer folks and queer families, and I consider myself non-binary person, and talking about what it's like to come out of the margins and put yourself center stage. That's no small thing. And that's what so many people around the world are doing as the world has been shifting these last 3-4 years. So it's been amazing timing that we happened right before, as COVID was happening. We happened after the Me Too movement was rolling. We happened just before George Floyd was murdered, blocks from my house here in Minneapolis. And so I'm going on too long, but it's been fantastic. Such a privilege.
Yes. And in the film, what I love, the music as well. A lot of times we don't talk about the music, but I just love the music. And I know it's just amazing. Even the start of the documentary is just so powerful with the drums. You hear it, you feel it just in the beginning. And I
Yeah.
love everything about it.
We were lucky to have Skywalker Sound just fall in love with the film and offer to bring the sound level of those drums to their greatest capacity. And you're hit with it and resonating with it from the first minute. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the drumming from Japan and some of the practitioners believe that it's a way to clear negative energy and bad demons. So there's no one way or small way about the sound that comes out of this film.
Yes. Now, Keri and Dawn, what was some of your favorite scenes to shoot in Finding Her Beat?
Wow. Well, as the director of photography, I'll take that first and say that, the drumming is so beautiful to watch. The performance, the performative aspect of it, the physicality, and that part of it is an art form as well. And so I would say as an artist, it was glorious to be able to film artists doing their art. And so, that part was new to me and really fabulous. And then the part that's more known to me and that I really gravitate to is stories about family. And I would say one of my signatures as a filmmaker is intimacy and really being able to have the audience feel like they're a part of the journey and not looking at an other situation, but becoming one with the story. And so on that note, all those intimate scenes and the scenes where we had this phenomenal access with Jen and Megan, and it could just be those common denominators that everybody shares of taking care of their child if they have children, and cooking dinner and processing together those commonalities that we all share. I love that too.
Yeah, and I would throw in there, yeah, there's a lot of stories both within the film and outside the film about food and how food seems to tie us all together. And it's funny, there was one reviewer who early on who talked to us about how, he watched the film and all he wanted to do was eat, because there's a scene where they're having dinner and you see the food bubbling and it's like, yeah, no. So there's something about food in the film for me. But also I think that final concert, I was stationed in the back because I am not a great cinematographer. So it's like, Dawn, you take the camera that's locked down and just press record. And I'm like, okay. But what was awesome about that was sitting there and seeing this amazing audience that had gathered for this dream that was, just a conversation over lunch a few years prior. And watching all these people that you care about and love, in this beautiful moment. And that for me always sticks out, and just like being able to take that all in, it was amazing.
We had
Yes.
people from Italy fly in for the concert. It was 2,600 seats, I think, that was sold out. And people like on Facebook, which is where a lot of the people in the North American and worldwide taiko community are, we're just talking all day about, I'm going to her beat, I'm going to the concert. It was an amazing audience. Right, Dawn.
Yes, I love it. I love everything about it. Now, also in this documentary, there were, some of the artists had sacrifices, and things that they had to let go. Is there, with your own experience, have there ever been a time in your life where you had to let something go?
Oh, I wish I didn't say yes to that. I would I would say that the things that you let go are really difficult. And as a creative person, I've certainly had a lot of projects that didn't come all the way to fruition, and those are the ones that stick with you the longest.
I would also,
I would say, go ahead,
oh,
Dawn.
I'm sorry.
Go
Well,
ahead.
I was just thinking, as a working artist, I think that there's letting go of certainty and letting go of stability, and kind of being able to trust that the universe has something for you. And I know that I find it very difficult to let go of stability, in particular financial stability. And so but it's something that, I've seen modeled by some of my favorite creators, including the performers in Heartbeat. I mean, like, they're dedicating their lives to this art form. And, there's not that you don't grow up with like, what are you going to be when you grow up? And when you go to college, what are you going to study? And it's like, I'm going to study taiko, certainly, because certainly there's a lucrative career there, so everybody's kind of, I think that letting go in order to do something greater is a theme of the film and theme of the creators.
I also had to let go of like being a superstar. So there's 18 phenomenal performers from around the world. And I ended up doing a lot more behind the scenes weightlifting the whole time. So I really like I had to let go every day of what I thought it was going to be and continued like just letting go of that myth that there's somebody who's the best and that there's somebody who is the most shining, and to let go of, you know, the power over thing that I think is part of the system that we're all coming out away from. And it's more about the power of all of us and collaboration.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Tycho, what more have you learned, you know, that you didn't already know, learned since filming Finding Our Beat?
Well, I was a nurse and only doing Tycho part-time, but since the film and the project, I've quit nursing and I'm back 100% as Tycho player. And I think for me, yeah, thank you. For me, it's about making sure that the next generation knows and understands everything that this generation and the people in the film have worked so hard to understand and then express. So it's the film does that as well, but also just, you know, as a personal thing that I'm just thinking about, how do we pass all of this on?
I would throw out there that you know, I've observed Tycho as an audience member for, you know, a number of years, but I don't think I truly understood, and I still don't fully, but the deep spiritual connections of Tycho. And that has come out of the film. It's come out of these interviews, you know, talking more with Megan and Jen, and the connection that they have with energy and with spirit. And so it's become a much deeper appreciation over time to, you know, this is more than just an art form, you know, that people get up on stage and do their little show and leave, that this is a life, this is a lifestyle, this is a way of being.
I think the film is really about the journey, and even though Tycho is at the center of it, we are not the educational movie about Tycho, you know, and so we are the emotional journey of getting to that center stage and why it's so important and why it's breakthrough and revolutionary. And so, you know, when I went off to Japan to film in Japan and I was reading the bios on the artists, you know, you can read a bio and get a little bit of a sense of a person, but until I really was on Sado Island with Chieko and seeing the beautiful Kodo school and traveling around with Kaoli Asano and seeing how hardworking she is, just performing with her group Goko and going to all these temples, and then, you know, seeing their rituals of going to each temple and praying in front of each temple and really honoring the land and the ancestors. All of that was very new to me and very inspiring and, you know, very authentic.
Yes. And I feel like, you know, I just want to first start off by saying congratulations with all the success already. You know, 40 plus festivals. That is amazing. Film festivals. Not only that, it was within 6 months. That is huge.
Yes.
Some people barely get in one film festival. But, you know, so many people have already, you know, got to see it. The screening sold out screening. How amazing is that?
It's pretty awesome.
Everybody's able to see the vision and see the success behind it. And everybody says a part of this documentary. I think it's truly amazing.
It was a major accomplishment for the film. I think we ended up in the final number, it was over 50, and I'm in Ely, Minnesota tonight for a screening of Finding Her Beat at the Ely Film Festival. And so we, the film festivals are continuing to want to share this film with their audiences. And then we have this amazing situation where USC and the State Department have kind of paired up to have this thing called American Film Showcase, where the State Department offers a catalog of films around to embassies around the world for them to be able to choose and be able to see American cinema. And our film has been chosen for that program. And so I love that this international film with all this built-in diversity is going to be representing American cinema. That's awesome.
It is. It is. From Japan to North America. I love it. I love it. Now tell us, what lessons or insights do you hope that the people that's watching will take away from?
I think that one of the biggest lessons is if you have a passion for something, if you have a commitment to something, if there's something in your soul that is yours and people are telling you no, just keep doing it. And, because that's the story of so many of these performers is they were told no, but they kept playing anyway. And they kept creating, and they kept creating for a future that was not guaranteed. It was not guaranteed that any of them would get center stage ever. And yet they kept doing it. And then, they finally decided, I'm done listening to people say no, and gave themselves the permission to do it themselves. And the results of that, that was an amazing concert that continues to have impact across the world, both within the taiko communities and now because people have seen it through the film, in the broader community. And that is, that's what happens, I think, when people believe in themselves and believe that they have the right to pursue the things that are most dear to them. So, I think that for me is the lesson.
I think the film, when people leave the theater, I've seen a tremendous just rush of joy from people that they just have been made so hopeful and so positive. And so I think as a documentary filmmaker, it's, the goal is to that you hope people are moved to the level of crying and laughing and clapping, and we got all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much. I would say, Dawn and Keri said kind of what I was going to say, but I don't know, just like the beauty of what a human being is. We aren't just our bodies. We aren't just our jobs. We aren't just, we're nothing like much of what the world says we are. And when you are true to yourself, I think that's maybe partly what our audience loves so much, is that when you stay true and in your integrity and you go big, we are actually bigger than human beings. And especially when we're with others doing the same thing.
Now I want to ask, I know we've been talking and, getting out. Was there any funny behind the scenes moments that you guys had, just bringing this vision together?
I don't know. Do we have any humor in this group?
Oh my gosh. Jen, the producer, is like all laughing all the time.
That is true.
Yeah. Just there are just so many moments of crazy things happening. Like if you watch the film, there's like 3,000 moments in there that you didn't see. And like, oh my gosh, like we were 3 professional drum people who've been playing for over 20 years, and we couldn't get the drum out of the bag. So we were like, there are 3 of us like professional type of players, and we got that on a picture and that sort of thing, where we're just like, oh, look at, we're in this big film, but we can't we can't get this out of the drum bag.
Now, can we expect more? You know, this watching this documentary, I just feel it just doesn't stop here. You know, can we expect what else can we expect another, you know, just going deeper? Because we need more, you know, you're bringing it to the light. So we need more.
The thing that that you would be able to do is that historic leap year day concert on 2020. I had so many people who have been to the best of the best in the concert world, you know, music people, who said that the concert was their very favorite concert that they had ever attended. And I think that you had to really be there to understand how electric it was. But we are releasing the full entire concert on Vimeo on demand. And so I think in the deeper, there are ways that people can go deeper and see more.
Yeah.
We're also releasing the documentary on video on demand all over the world. And that'll be Valentine's Day coming up. And yeah, it'll be on Prime Video, Google Play, and Tubi for anyone to get on and watch it. And I have to say, going to all of the festivals, I didn't go to all 50, but I felt like I went to 3,000 of them. And every audience, no matter if I was in Arkansas, it was shown in Florida, it was shown in Austin, Texas, it was shown in Mississippi, New York, Boston, Seattle, Vancouver, London, Australia, all over the place. Every audience that came up to me looked almost like the same crowd. It was a huge crowd, and they were crying and laughing. And there were 2 questions, that's 4. There were 2 questions that they asked every time. And one was, when are you touring again? And when do we get to see the concert? So we don't have plans yet to tour, but we are thinking about how to pull those artists back. Maybe not all 18 of them, but maybe 10 of them, and do more taekwondo events in Minnesota in the next coming years.
Yes, I love it. Now, my last question is, what does Finding Her Beat mean to you?
The title or the film?
Just the film. Yeah, not the title.
I was like, it could be the title too. So, I mean, I think that Finding Her Beat is it's an interesting dynamic between finding your own personal strength, but also leaning heavily on the strength of your community. And, you know, to Megan's point, how much stronger and more powerful we are together than on our own. And I feel like this film embodies that in every way, from not just the, you know, in front of the screen, but behind the screen. Something we didn't mention is that our crew was almost entirely female, non-binary, queer, Asian, or a combination of those descriptors. And I think that we were more powerful because of that, because we all saw ourselves in this film in some way. And that's the kind of creative experience that I want to keep having and yearn for, because I think that's where we're best.
I think professionally, this film represents a chance to grow with my skills, to grow as a storyteller, to work for the very first time with a team. I've always produced and done my films pretty much with one hat. I mean, with me wearing all the hats. And so it's just been a tremendous experience to see how much further the film and the message and the artistry can go when you have these other dedicated, passionate creatives to work with?
I would say this film means a lot to me about bridges, bridges between North America and Japan. I'm biracial. My mom's Chinese, my dad's white, and so like throughout my life, I've bridged my parents. I've bridged all different people, and a lot of the artists in the film also are bridges, sharing like the deepest sacred beauty of one country to another. And it's also about ancestors. And to me, those are bridges as well, that we aren't just one physical being, we are connected beyond, and we can channel those energies and creations and through art and study and just showing up with a very particular focus. So bringing, like, it's just a very powerful bridging. I think that's the meaning for me.
I want to thank you all, Miss Keri, Dawn, and Megan, just for taking out the time to talk with me. I really enjoyed this documentary, and I'm just so honored to be here today. And I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for highlighting Finding Her Beat.
Yeah, finding her beat. I was so excited to talk today. I was like, oh,
Is there
I
anything
love
else,
it. Just
anything
all the
else
way
that
through.
anything else that you wanted to ask us just as an audience member for behind the scenes or tidbits?
I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so. But I just love where behind the scenes where I'm not sure his name, where y'all was talking to him and they were saying, oh, he, one artist loves confetti, and things like that. Is it okay? And stuff like that. But I just love how everybody was, had their own, way of, presenting their art and different things like that. So I just love
Yeah.
it.
Just
I
no
love that
glitter.
you saw
No
all
glitter.
that.
Not glitter.
Don't do glitter.
No.
It'll be here for years.
Yes, but I just really enjoyed it. Like I said, just all the way. When you come on, when the documentary come on, you hear those drums, and then just all the way through. And I love you had the men and the women, just playing together. That was powerful to me.
Yeah,
That's great.
When
there's so much.
when women wasn't even they didn't even supposed to be, but when everybody coming together, that is so much power. And just to hear the drums, that's powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Nikki Rich of the Nikki Rich Show. So honored to be here and talk with you.